going on, everybody? Happy Halloween. It's October 31st. Let me double check the calendar. Yeah, it's October 31st. I'm going to be going out with family and stuff. It's going to be really wholesome. So I'm doing these videos as quickly as I can. I got another really great one coming out tomorrow. Stay tuned. But yeah, we got to talk about Sam Harris. We got to talk about this episode of one of his podcasts, the Making Sense podcast. And man, this is a doozy. I don't even know how to begin this video, but let's talk about who Sam Harris is really quick. He's a best-selling author. All of his books sell well. He's an intellectual black belt. This is the guy who has spoken honestly about the refugee crisis that's plagued the Western world, that's changing the texture of the Western nations for the worse, in my opinion. And this is a guy who's been unapologetic about his worldview about certain religions' influence on American public policy, specifically like the First Amendment or freedom of speech. Sorry, I'm trying to be using universal language here. Europe doesn't have freedom of speech anymore. If you transgress against certain groups or mock their ideology, their religious affiliation, their religious ideology, you'll be penalized for it. If you don't get penalized by the government, then you might get murdered. You might get killed by terrorists, like what we saw with the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. Sam Harris, neuroscientist, by the way, he is a neuroscientist, well-educated guy. He suggested that all of the world's news organizations, all the papers, everyone publish the cartoons to in a way to unify the world against barbarism, against religious barbarism that's inflicted upon innocent Western and free people, and their ability to express themselves how they see fit. Because certain or groups don't want us to speak honestly, don't want us to speak freely. They want to censor our speech. And Sam Harris was a champion of these ideas. However, he's taken a turn for the worse, in my opinion. Now he's pro-globalism. Now I think he has very little to say on the topics that he used to champion. So this clip just came out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to it, and then we're gonna analyze this. Okay, we're gonna analyze this. We're gonna be fair and charitable and all that. So let's go ahead and begin.
But Osama bin Laden is, as a person, is far.
So yeah, I had to turn it up really quick. Let's watch.
But Osama bin Laden is, as a person, is far more understandable to me and far less reprehensible personally, psychologically, than Trump. And
I think the way people, and this is just a guess, because.
But Osama bin Laden
let's listen to that again.
As a person, is far more understandable to me and far less reprehensible personally, psychologically, than Trump. And
I think the.
All right, one more time for good measure.
But Osama bin Laden is, as a person, is far more understandable to me and far less reprehensible personally, psychologically, than Trump. And
I think the way people.
Jesus Christ, man. Sam Harris was a hero of mine. A lot of some of my debate style, my way that the way that I navigate through conversations, especially conversations or debates that are contentious, they came from Sam Harris. Sam Harris was a literal hero of mine. I've seen him in person, out here in Vegas. The atheists would get together in ballrooms. Granted, I'm no longer an atheist. I reject the skeptic community. I think they suck. I think they're a bunch of sellouts and shills. It's like, hey, we're going to be skeptical of everything except for communism and socialism, and we're going to form these unholy alliances with these groups that we completely detested and mocked, relentlessly for many years up until recently because we hate Trump. We're skeptical of Trump and his COVID response or whatever. Who cares? Sam Harris was somebody that I've watched all of his interviews. I watched all of his debates. I have his books. I have his audiobooks. I've listened to them numerous times. And, this is a guy who's taught people how to navigate through, like I said, how to fight, in the arena of ideas. This is a thought leader. He was one of the four horsemen, as they say, of like intellectualism. He's a big deal. So for him to say these things blows my mind. Now let's be fair to him. The first portion, I can totally respect and understand that it is very easy, at least for him, it's easier for him to understand Osama bin Laden than it is to understand Trump. Trump is a complex dude. I get that. That is forgivable. That is not really what is egregious here, but it's the second part that really gets me. The individual who is responsible for conducting terror campaigns against Americans that has resulted in thousands upon thousands of deaths, that person is less reprehensible than President Donald J. Trump. Do you not see how insane that sounds? That's insane to me. This is insane. I can't believe I'm listening to this. Like, this literally happened. Like, he literally said these things. This came out of Sam Harris's mouth. It's not hard to understand Trump. I don't expect the layman to understand it, but I expect someone like Sam Harris to. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to hold him to that. Sam Harris is not a stupid guy. He's an intellectual black belt. He's one of the best at this. You know, he's a public intellectual. He's my goodness, man. This is the guy who completely dismantled and destroyed Cenk Uygur for 3 hours. Just a madman. This Sam Harris is when it comes to intellectual debate. And he's a neuroscientist. Like, he's a literal scientist. And he can't understand Trump. He finds Bin Laden, the terrorist, the number one terrorist ever. And granted, he's gone now, but he's less reprehensible. Bin Laden is less reprehensible than Trump. Oh, man. And he understands, like, Bin Laden did what he did because of his religious beliefs, because of his core values that springs forth from his religion. You know, there's a clear link between action and belief. This is what Sam Harris says. So, Bin Laden believes these terrible things about the West. Bin Laden conducts terror campaign against the West, and thousands of people died. He understands it. That's easy to understand. But he doesn't understand Trump. Well, I do. One, because I think I have a better connection to people than Sam Harris, because Sam Harris seems kind of like a weird guy. I don't even think he likes music. He doesn't listen to music. Like, the dude's a fucking weirdo. But I like weirdos, because I know I'm a different out there kind of guy myself. So I'm able to forgive it, but it really speaks to how well he truly understands people. He understands ideas and beliefs and religions, but he can't understand people. That really is one of the more glaring flaws of Sam Harris's line of thinking, is that he just doesn't get people that well. Or at all in some cases. And Trump is very easy for me to understand. Trump is a very hostile and vindictive dude. And I'm not saying that to berate him or to talk down at him or anything like that. But that's just his personality. Like he would probably love me. Like, if I'm hanging out, if I'm friends with Donald Trump, I would never speak ill of him. I'd be totally loyal to him as a friend and all that. And he would love me. He'd be stoked about me. But if I was in a different reality, let's say, where the same me hates Trump, he would probably, make my life miserable if he had the opportunity. That's just the kind of person that he is. Like for example, like there's a lot of celebrities, there's a lot of people out there that are pro-Trump. Trump rewards that behavior. He invites them to the White House. They're having dinner with him and his family. They're going out partying, or not partying, but they're going out golfing and stuff. They're going to these events. He shows up and supports these athletes, and then they come to the White House, and the photo opportunity, and a lot of these guys are going out and endorsing Trump openly to tens of thousands of people. These videos are going viral. Trump knows what he's doing, but I also genuinely believe that Trump cares and loves these people. Trump has always been this kind of person. But if you hate Trump, if you try to make Trump's life a living hell, he's going to come back at you tenfold. That's just how he rolls. Like, I remember before the election, Obama was making quite a few jabs at Trump, and I don't believe there was any genuine malice in Obama's words. He was just joking, and his writers were like, "Oh, well, these jokes are going to land. These are going to be good jokes," and they were good jokes, I think. They made these jokes at Trump's expense. Everybody in the room was laughing except for Trump. Trump was giving Obama this look like, I'm going to be the one that shows you out of the house. I'm going to take the keys to the White House, and I'm going to give you the fucking boot in the ass. And he did that. Like the Clintons. He completely destroyed the Clintons. And these are people that he used to hang out with. These are New York people. But they went after him. They dragged his family through the mud. They were ruthless. They just didn't expect Trump to be more ruthless. And they didn't. And they completely underestimated how much people hate these elites. People love this vindictive attitude of Trump. All the people that have made his life miserable, most of us don't like those people. Like, we legitimately don't like pedophile Hollywood. We don't like all these career politicians. And if Trump goes in there swinging his fist, we're like, yeah, that's our boy. We got his back. It's not hard to understand this. Obviously for Sam Harris, because he's just, this intellectual elite, how dare you type. And, so it's not a surprise that he doesn't understand it. But again, it's okay not to understand this behavior. It's okay not to understand Trump's bizarre behavior, because a lot of people don't. But to say something as egregious and as completely disgusting as Osama bin Laden being less reprehensible than President Donald J. Trump, this is somebody who genuinely wants the best for America. He wants to keep Americans safe. He wants to end these wars in the Middle East. He wants to cease this campaign, this military campaign that continues to brutalize Muslim people throughout the world. Trump is less reprehensible, or Trump is more reprehensible than a literal terrorist, responsible for thousands of deaths, responsible for igniting what? How long have we been in the Middle East? Since 2002, 2001? It's been nonstop. And finally, somebody wants to put an end to it, and that person is more reprehensible than the person who started the fight. Well, I mean, you want to get technical. Maybe Bin Laden didn't start the fight. Yeah, maybe, but still, you know what I'm saying. It's this is bizarre to me. This behavior is absolutely bizarre, and it's just so upsetting coming from somebody who I used to look up to and think was a hero. I can't stand the skeptic community. They've completely lost their minds, and they're completely out to lunch on some of the issues that Americans are the most concerned about. Like, we're concerned about mass immigration. We don't want the texture of our nation to change. We don't want to be displaced. We don't want to be replaced. We don't want to have our wages depressed because we're competing with illegal labor alongside of other people who are probably just as qualified as we are. We want America to be for Americans. We want Americans to come first. There's an army of homeless people in my city and on the West Coast that absolutely need help. And I would be more than happy to hear or vote for or sign a petition for a plan that aims to reunite families that have been affected by homelessness, to get these people off the streets, get them cleaned up, get them the help that they need. I am all for that. But people did not sign up for the kind of things that Sam Harris used to fight against. Mass immigration, the changing of the Western world, the placating of these violent religious ideologies. He was against those things. He sounded he sounded like a more eloquent Trump back in the day. But now he's bringing on these people onto the Making Sense podcast, completely shitting on Jared Taylor, besmirching him, and people like Stefan Molyneux. But he doesn't want to have the conversation with these guys. He doesn't want to bring them on to defend themselves, which is absolutely pathetic and sad, because a lot of these people have defended Sam Harris, reliably defended Sam Harris, and they prevented Sam Harris from being canceled, right? They tried to shield him from backlash. I've been one of these people. I've stood up for Sam Harris, and I will continue to stand up for Sam Harris, even though I probably don't like him as a person anymore. I think he sucks. I think it's upsetting how deranged and stupid he is. I think a part of me genuinely, and I could be wrong about this, but I genuinely believe he knows why people like Trump are successful, and why people are running into the arms of Donald Trump. I mean, he's kind of alluded to it, but more so about like Law and Order and stuff. But it runs deeper than that, man. Like America needs to come first. Like, this is an American country. We don't want it to change into this stupid bullshit atheist utopian society that they envision, because it's not happening the way that they want it to. We already got a glimpse of the world that they want, and that occurred in the Chaz Zone. That's what America is going to look like if these people are in charge, if they end up having dominion over our lives. And I'm not interested in it. Sam Harris, prolific debater, insanely smart and intelligent dude, but my goodness, this is not somebody who is fit to lead or make decisions that impact anybody's lives. He has important information. He communicates these really important ideas, and and people should be entrusted to, kind of interpret it as they might, and navigate through the world with the knowledge that's been bestowed upon them, and let them choose for themselves. That makes more sense. But now he has all these people, and he's completely undermining the wishes of the majority of the American people, and we're sick of it, man. A lot of people are going to be reject. I think it's going to be overwhelming how much of Biden's globalist agenda is going to be rejected, how much of Sam Harris's globalist agenda is going to be rejected. It's going to be profound, and I think a lot of these liberals are not going to be able to physically handle it. I think they're physically going to get sick. I think they're going to get really hurt, like physically hurt. Like somebody would have told me the day after the election, it's like when Trump is announced the winner and stuff. Someone's gonna, if somebody were to tell me like, oh yeah, I was at this party with Sam Harris, and Sam Harris like fell to the ground, just a river of tears flowing out of his face, and he pissed himself because he's like, oh my God, Trump. I'd believe it. I would legitimately believe it if they told me in a serious tone. Like I'm not even exaggerating. I think like people are literally going to die of heart attacks, and it's going to be massive. Like people are going to end up hospitalized because Trump wins the election, because they won't physically be able to handle it. Trump broke these people. Trump lives rent free in Sam Harris's mind. Trump snapped Sam Harris in half, merely for existing, merely for leading the country, merely for putting these thoughts into people's minds. Thoughts about sovereignty, thoughts about borders, thoughts about maintaining the texture of the nation. I mean, Sam Harris used to echo these sentiments in a weird roundabout, in a more intelligent way. But goodness, man, let's just listen to this one more time for good measure, man.
But Osama bin Laden is, as a person, is far more understandable to me and far less reprehensible personally, psychologically, than Trump. And
I think the way people, and this is just a guess.
Jesus, dude. Jesus Christ. I expect this kind of behavior from Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker's a loser. This guy's an idiot. He's not smart. He's got a chip on his shoulder because he knows he's not that smart. He said America deserved 9/11. That is less egregious. That is less offensive than Sam Harris saying that Osama bin Laden is less reprehensible than President Trump. I expect people like Hassan Piker and Cenk Uygur and all these other losers, that feminist softball coach looking motherfucker Kokolinsky. I expect these losers to say things like, "America deserved 9/11. We brought it upon ourselves." Blah blah blah. Like that. That's very lowbrow, juvenile, very surface level opinions from the modern left. That's expected. I don't even care. I don't even think twice about it. But Sam Harris saying this is absolutely devastating. And it really is a testament to how real Trump derangement syndrome is. How even insanely brilliant, well-educated geniuses like Sam Harris, intellectual black belts, record-breaking sales figures for his books, that Sam Harris is susceptible to the most serious forms of TDS. This is like stage 4 TDS. Goodness, man. I can't fucking believe it, dude. Oh, man. I can't wait till Trump wins, man. I can't fucking wait. Please go out and vote. Even if you hate Trump, even if you're like, you think he's a fascist and shit, vote for him for the lulz. You won't regret it. Peace out.